Hello everybody and welcome back to another video on Cobbler's Vlogs, where today we're back with another opposition view video. We're previewing the Carabao Cup tie on Wednesday night. We face Championship opposition in Coventry City, just a little journey down the M1 and then onto the M6 and then into the Ricoh Arena. So although I'm not going, it should be a good away day for those that are going to make it down to the Ricoh Arena. I wonder how many Coventry fans will turn up as well. They're obviously delighted with their last-minute win against Nottingham Forest on Sunday, which we're going to talk about in just a moment. I've got Neil Littlewood, who's with me. He's a Coventry fan. Neil, first of all, how is life over in Coventry or wherever you are at the moment?
All good, mate. All good. Yeah. Well, it's absolutely lashing it down in Cov at the minute, but yeah, all good, mate. All good. Still coming down off the ceiling from yesterday, so yeah, it's just glad football's back more than anything, regardless of whether Cov are playing or anything. It's just good to have football back, isn't it?
Absolutely, it is, and it's chucking it down here as well. Just looking out the window. Let's get straight into it then. So, obviously, you played Nottingham Forest in your first game of the season at home in front of the Sky cameras. I didn't catch any of it because I was working, but you obviously beat them in the last minute as well. So, first of all, just talk to us about the game first of all, and how your team was looking ahead of the new season, and kind of what you're expecting from this Coventry side for the season.
So the game itself. To be fair, I thought we would win before the game. With all due respect to Forest, I don't think they've added anything from last season. We were robbed against them twice last year, including a 90th minute winner over at their place. So we felt like we owed them. We played Wolves the week before that game in a pre-season game, and we looked really, really sharp. We'd signed Martin Waghorn from Derby, and his movement looked really good. A new left back is coming on loan from Chelsea, Ian Matteson, and again he looked really sharp. New keeper from Sheffield United, so a couple of new players. Jalin, we weren't sure how that was going to be. Did well against Wolves, but going into the first game, obviously you think, how they're going to do. 21,000 fans in the stadium. Some of the players had never played in front of Cov fans. Obviously because of coronavirus, etc. Some of them never played in Coventry, let alone one of them wearing the club's badge, which makes it a bit weird. Yeah. But again, that's another one. But the game itself was, it was a nervy affair to start with, as you expect, first game of the season. But it was the stereotypical game of two halves. First half, I thought we were okay. Just lacked it in the final third. Decision making let us down quite a lot. But Forest were quite clinical, pressed really well. And then second half, the fans woke up more than anything. We were singing Twist and Shout for about 12 minutes. And just the atmosphere around the place just really picked up. And I really think we sucked the equaliser in. Callum O'Hare down the right-hand side made Jack Colback look like a kid, made them put the ball in the middle. And Big Victor, our Swedish striker, smashed in the equaliser. And then from there on out, I think it was inevitable we were going to win. It was just a matter of time then. And we did, McFadzean pretty much the last kick of the game. I've never felt an experience like that at football, especially not the Ricoh anyway.
Yeah.
I don't want to leave. I don't know if you've had that feeling at the football where you just don't want to leave because you're going to go home to normal life and it's not the same sort of thing. So, I think it's a perfect way to start the season. Home win, you got that monkey off the back. Got a little bit of revenge for last season, and again, I think we'll do well this year. I still think there's a couple of signings yet to come through the door. I think our squad's solid in terms of where we were last season. We've lost our lone star, Leo Ostergaard, we had from Brighton. He's gone back to Brighton. Looks like he might be joining Stoke, which is a bit of a kick in the nads. But Michael Rose has come back fit, who was key for us the season we won League One, and he weren't quite at the races last season, but yesterday he looked so class again, looked really composed. Jody Jones, who was phenomenal for us in League Two, had two really bad ACL injuries. He came on and got 20-odd minutes yesterday, and that was great to see. The ovation for him was immense. So I'd like to think we'll be safe. I'd happily take 21st because it means we're safe. But if you're asking me to draw a line in the sand, as it were, I'd say 17th.
Yeah, I think that's kind of what we were aiming for last season when we were in League One, 21st, just be safe, consolidate. I mean, I know you've been in this will be your second year in the Championship, will it?
Yeah, this is our second year back in the Championship. Yeah.
So second year it is that kind of 17th mark, and then you push on towards mid-table next year or the year after. So hopefully you stay up, and I'm sure you probably will, looking at the way you started, and hopefully that carries on. I don't think we need to kind of talk about how good it was to be back at the football. I think you mentioned it quite a bit there. I know I've talked about it on Twitter and stuff as well, and I think everybody knows, how special it was for them in their own way to be back at the football, and probably even more special for you with 21,000 there. You can create much more of an atmosphere than the 7,000 or whatever it was that were at the Cobblers on Saturday. Obviously, we both got a win. The only thing I did want to ask you was last season you were playing over at Birmingham, and you were obviously watching through a TV screen for the whole season. How weird was that? And obviously, you're now back at the Rico. So, what's the situation with Coventry and the owners and all that kind of stuff? What's going on?
Wow, that's a loaded question, Matt. How long you got?
Yeah.
So the St Andrews move to start with. So the season we won League One, the COVID disrupted season, we were at St Andrews. I made the journey over there, and it was different to say the least. Hats off to Birmingham. The same way Cov fans owe you lot that gratitude for what you did for us a few years ago as well with the ground share. Allowed us to play our game. We played some brilliant stuff. It was just a shame that not many fans got to see it because a lot of people refused to go for their own reasons, which I completely understand. Obviously, we win the league and then we don't get to go to games, and we're still at St Andrews for the next season, which I think was a good idea rather than the return to the Rico being behind closed doors. I don't think it would have had the same effect. And I don't think it would have had the same impact. So, yeah, staying at St Andrews, it's never easy sharing a ground, but I think we got the best of it. Played some great. We tried to play in the same stuff that won us the league, and it kind of worked out well. But it was weird watching it. But like you say, watching it on a screen, I don't think you appreciate some footballers on a screen like you see them, in real life. And any of my mates that are watching this that have seen that I'm doing this tonight will know this is coming. Prime example: we have a player, Ben Sheaf, got on loan, had him on loan from Arsenal last season. Split opinion massively, but we had an obligation to sign him, which we did. Started the season well yesterday, but again, he's still split an opinion. But seeing him live, you can see that he's a different sort of player to what you see on screen. You don't get the full. For example, Matty Godwin's another one. Our top goal scorer in League One. His movement's phenomenal, but I don't think you pick that up on telly. And from a personal point of view, I didn't like it. I don't feel like you can connect with it.
Absolutely not. Yeah.
It's so much easier to sit on your phone on Twitter and talk about the game with your mates than it is to actually, realize what's going on. And I genuinely think, and again, I'm sure you boys will agree, that there was results that were so weird last season that if fans were in the ground, I don't think would have happened. So yeah. I just hope the I follow era is in the back and I never have to worry about that again.
Absolutely, yeah. And like you said, very weird watching it at St Andrews, or behind the screen. It's kind of a bit of a double whammy. And you mentioned the weird results. For example, we beat Portsmouth 4-1 last year at home, and you just never seen that coming in a million years, especially with 1,500 fans behind the goal. Yeah,
we beat Brentford 3-1 at home, and they were flying. That should never have happened. And the other thing that was weird on telly, did you boys do the cardboard cutouts in the ground?
We did for the playoffs of the season before, but we didn't carry it on.
Right. So Birmingham did it. So when we're playing our games, Birmingham cardboard cutouts are in the stands. And it's just like, my wife doesn't follow football, but I'd have the iPhone, either on my laptop or cast it onto the telly. And she'd come in and go, why is the Birmingham fans there? And it's like, it's not Birmingham fans' love. It's, just trying to explain that. But yeah, it was just weird. I never want to do that again.
And it's cup football that we're about to talk about tonight. And am I right in saying that you played Birmingham in the FA Cup?
We did.
And then went to a replay.
What a day. So we joked. So when it got announced that we drew them, that we're ground sharing there, I remember Cov Twitter was just going, "Oh, what? Just get Birmingham in the cup. What? Just get Birmingham in the cup or Villa."
Yeah.
It was, it was going to be one of those two. And then the cup draw came out, and it was us at home at St Andrews, against Birmingham. And to be fair, what an atmosphere that day. It was brilliant. And I'll give Birmingham fans their dues. They had a bit of fun with it. Like, who's that in my seat? That was one of they give us the "your ground's too big for you." Just good light-hearted banter. We missed a chance in the 89th minute. So we had Callum O'Hare on loan from Villa that season. And he missed a sitter in the 89th minute right in front of me. I can still see it now. He was a few feet away. Went to a replay. And again, we conceded a freak goal in extra time. After absolutely dominate them in the replay. But it was weird, like you say, to kind of... You always see, these match day vlogs on YouTube and stuff of fans coming to your stadium in the away end.
Yeah.
It must be weird to sit in your own away end, like and be the away team. That must be so weird.
Yeah. I know for last season when we had kind of the social distance crowds in, they put to fit all the season ticket holders in, they had to put some in the away end, so people found it weird sitting in the south stand watching us play at home. It was strange. But speaking of Sixfields, you obviously played there for, was it 1 or 2 seasons? I can't remember.
I think it was just the one. I think it was just the one.
Yeah. So I remember you obviously came and ground shared with us. And obviously the other 2 memories I've got is when we played you in the FA Cup back in 15-16, and it would have been one of our last games before going bust. So probably bigger for us than for you. I think we managed to win 2-1 or 1-0 or something like that.
Yeah, I think you did, yeah.
And then the other one was back in 2017 where we beat you by 3-0, but you guys that was when you were really kind of in the crap, so to say. You guys were running on the pitch, throwing flares on the pitch, all this kind of stuff. Are there any other kind of memories you've got of playing against the Cobblers?
I remember that day. You had when you come to the recap, you had an luminous kit. It was horrible. I remember thinking that's a horrible kit.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it's the season we got relegated from League One. And to be fair, that was a season, and I'm sure any Cov fan would agree with me. Didn't expect anything. You turned up on a Saturday, knowing full well you were going to lose. You didn't. There was such a serious disconnect from the players, the management. We had 3 managers that season, but weirdly won the Checker Trade, which is it the Papa John's now? It was just so surreal. Started off with Tony Mowbray the season before we should have got promoted. We had Joe Cole, James Maddison, Adam Armstrong, Ryan Kent. Just a phenomenal John Fleck, just a phenomenal squad. I don't know how we didn't go up. And then that season we had a bit of a fire sale. Maddison went, Fleck went, Armstrong went back on loan, Jacob Murphy went back, Kent had gone, Joe Cole had gone. It was just weird. And Mowbray was sacked by November. Then we brought in Russell Slade, who the less said about him, the better. And then Mark Robbins came back towards the back end of the season, and then everything's kind of picked up since. But I do remember that game, and you boys were all over us. I don't think we had a sniff that day. I really don't.
And then you've obviously got the 3-0 in 2017 where we were at home, and like I said, you guys were it was really not going well for you. I remember a lot of CCU out protests and stuff like that. So that was a memorable day.
I remember deciding not to go that day purely and simply because I knew it was the perfect example. It was the perfect scenario for some of our fans to protest against the owners again, and because Sixfields was the venue when they first took us out of Coventry, so it was going to happen, and I just thought I don't want any part of that. That season was toxic. Everything around the place was horrible. I'll never forget the last game of the season that year, and it was just nobody wanted to be around. Normally the lap of honour, I don't think the players wanted to do it. They just got abused the whole way around. It was just horrible. But we had a game on Sky where fans invaded the pitch and they had whistles, and we played Chowton and threw pigs on the pitch and tennis. But it weren't very nice. So I remember all the talk on social media as well before the Cobblers game was, perfect opportunity to do it again. And I made the conscious decision I didn't want anything to do with that.
Yeah. I remember being there. I was probably 14, 15, something like that, and feeling like, I've never seen anything like this before. I was right next to the away end as well, and there were even Coventry fans like running in from the home end onto the pitch towards the manager, towards the players. I think the match got abandoned. Well, not abandoned, but they all went down the tunnel for 10, 15 minutes and they came back out again. It was. You feel sorry for them, but at the same time, you're like, come on, clear off. We want to play a game of football here. So
100%.
Obviously now a bit older, you kind of understand why people do that and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, 100%. And to be fair, we've still got the same owners. I think this sounds really weird, and I hope you kind of understand where I'm coming from. That relegation season was probably the best thing that ever happened to us. We got to the Checker Trade Trophy final, and for it was the only bit of feel good that we'd ever had as Cov fans, and we took 45,000 to Wembley. And I genuinely think the owners of the club seen the potential of the football club and went, actually, we've got something on our hands here. And then they started investing in the playing side again. Like I say, that season we had a fire sale of players, and it was just a case of, they'd given up on us a little bit. I generally thought we were going to go bust, when we got relegated to League Two, I thought this could be the end of my club. I thought we could go down again and, get lost in the wilderness like Torquay have done, clubs like that. Yeah. And I genuinely thought that's where we'd end up going. But the owners have kind of turned it around a little bit. We've got a new chief exec, Dave Boddy, that's come in, and he's been really transparent with the fans. He was pivotal in getting the deal to get us back to the RICO. It's a 10-year deal, so we've got some stability. There's talk of a new stadium. I'll believe it when I see spades and grounds, as it were. But there's talk of a new stadium. They're saying that the match day revenue we're getting a good percentage of that, which we never had before. The rent's lower than what we were paying before, so relations at the minute seem to be a lot better than what they were. So touch wood, there's no protests or anything this season, and there's none of that kerfuffle that there was before now.
Good stuff. So looking to more kind of zooming in on Wednesday night's game, obviously it's a Carabao Cup tie, it's League Two against Championship. Last few years we've played last 3 years actually in the Carabao Cup, we've played a Championship side in the first round. We played Swansea 2 years ago and lost 2-1 there. We played Cardiff last season and won 3-0. And then we're obviously going to play you guys this year, and we're obviously not too sure what to expect. Swansea, the first time, obviously took it quite seriously. They put a fairly strong side out and brought on some substitutes like Andre Ayew, who came on that night and scored 2 goals in 10 minutes to turn it around to make them win 2-1. But last year, the Carabao Cup first round was the first weekend of the season. We played that first round, and then the next week we played our first game in League One, and it was as though Cardiff were just treating it as an extra pre-season game, and we beat them 3-0 thinking, we're going to finish mid-table in League One, and then look what happened. So how are Coventry going to treat this one? Do you think you're going to go for it, or do you think it's going to be a reserve team? There's going to be just 10,000 there. I mean, are you going yourself? How do you think Coventry overall are going to treat this game against a League Two Cobblers side?
Do you know what? I don't know. Before yesterday, I would have said it's going to be a reserve team fixture. A mixture of under 23s and getting some, some minutes in their legs of players that haven't really played much in pre-season. But I don't know if the club will want to, jump on the feel-good factor after yesterday. I can see there being 6 first-teamers potentially starting, and then being propped up with under 23s. In terms of attendance, I am going. Funny enough, sorted my ticket out about 20 minutes before going over yourself. I was one of those ones where I weren't sure. First round of the cup, you always think, do I? Don't I? Yeah. With all due respect, lower league opposition, you think, do I? And then my mate David, who I do my own podcast with. Half time yesterday, he bought his ticket. He was fully brought in, sort of thing. Yeah. So yeah, we decided, let's do it. Let's just go along. So, from what I can see, there'll be a good few thousand there. I don't know if we'll hit 10k, possibly. Still the school holidays, it's discounted tickets, so it's £12 a ticket in the home end. There'll be walk-ups on the day as well. So I'm looking forward to it, to be fair. I'm looking forward to it. Again, there's some players that will get minutes who didn't play yesterday. One who I definitely think will play will be Brighton Bakare, who we signed this summer. We had him on loan when we were in League One from Wolves, and he was frightening. He got some minutes against Nuneaton Borough in an under-23 fixture last week, and the guy's a joke. If he had the right attitude, he'd be playing Premier League football, but he's had notorious behavioural problems off the pitch. Hopefully, we've kind of sorted that out with him. So I definitely think he starts, and if he does, Cobblers fans that are travelling just enjoy him, because he won't be playing EFL football for long.
It's certainly going to be interesting in terms of how both teams approach this, because I think I'm a bit like you. I've got no idea. I've got no idea what kind of crowd you're going to have. I've got no idea how many Cobblers fans are going to be going, because obviously this is our first away game of the season after Port Vale at home in the league on Saturday.
Yeah.
Tough Championship opposition. The weather, if it stays as it is probably going to be pretty crap. So it's going to be interesting to see how many go, because I think normally like that FA Cup game we took 5,000 or 6,000 or whatever it was, something like that. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. Moving on from that, then, who are we going to be looking out for in the Coventry team on Wednesday night? Because I've written down the likes of Callum O'Hare, Martin Waghorn, Tyler Walker's another one that I've got down. But whether or not any of those will play, I'm not too sure. So any insight on danger for City?
Callum O'Hare played 90 minutes yesterday. With his style of play, he gets kicked quite a bit and fouled quite a bit. So it wouldn't surprise me if he gets rested for Barnsley on Saturday. Waghorn came off after 60 minutes. Didn't look that effective yesterday. But being an ex-Derby player playing against Forest, I think that may have got to him a little bit, because he was getting a lot of stick from their fans. Could have a cameo. It might be a case of give him some minutes against lower league opposition, see if he scores, get the ball rolling. Tyler Walker, I think there's a possibility Tyler could start. Came off the bench for the last 20 minutes. Hasn't played a lot in pre-season from what I can remember. So he might get minutes. Not sure if Matty Godden's fit. Again, our top scorer in League One. He's got a horrible injury. Plantar fascia, I think it's called. It's the arch of your foot. He's really damaged the muscles and tendons there. It's a horrible injury. He keeps rushing back from it. And I don't recall him playing any minutes in pre-season. So if he's fit, wouldn't surprise me if he was to get a run out. But I think if the under-23s are going to be playing, there's a couple to watch out for. So I mentioned Brighton Bakare before, who, again, is getting his fitness. Wilbur Parker, young, exciting winger. Played against Norwich in the FA Cup last season and really, really, really exciting. Loves to get the ball down, loves running at defenders. He scores a few goals for the under-23s. Then we've got Fabio Tavares, who we signed from Rochdale last year, through the middle, pacey striker. Should have had a hat-trick against Nuneaton the other week, but took his brace really, really well. I generally think he's going to be in and around the squad towards the back end of the season this year. So it wouldn't surprise me if this was the opportunity to give him some first team minutes, as it were. And then, we've got some exciting youth prospects that if they do get the chance, Johnny Ngandu, who's just come back from a loan spell in Iceland and looks like a different player. He looks like he put about 3 stone of muscle on while he was out there. So it looks like a completely different player. Harrison Nee, who's come from the under-18s, who looks really good. Josh Reed, who Cov fans will really want to see, signed him from Ross County in January and haven't seen him in the first team yet. Left wing back, who comes with a real good reputation from north of the border. So I'm hoping we get to see him personally. And Declan Drysdale will probably play centre half, who was at Cambridge last year on loan. 6'5", stylish centre half, loves playing the ball. So I can see him playing. And Marco Russ might play, not Marco Royce, as some Cov fans got excited about. We just missed the E out after signing. Who we signed from Southampton's academy, who again, looks a real prospect. So I think there, looking at what I've said there, I think there'll be a real genuine mix of first team and under 23s.
Yeah, I think I'll probably agree with you in terms of the way that we're going to play. I think you won't see the starting 11 that played against Port Vale on Saturday, and it won't be the starting 11 that plays at the weekend at Colchester. But there'll be some first teamers in there. But for us, there's no kind of, I don't know what you guys have, how your setup is, but ours is just under 18s first team. There's no kind of middle under 23 side. So we kind of, the first team is kind of everybody. And it's 5 or 6 under 18s that came up last year that have been kind of whacked in and signed pro contracts over the summer. So it's going to be interesting to see what kind of side we play out. I think it will be a mix, and hopefully it's not too bad of a mix that we get battered. So yeah, I think it's going to be a decent game. I don't know. You could walk away with it and win, 2-3-0, something like that. But let's see what you think. Let's have your kind of score prediction. How you think Wednesday night is going to go?
I think it could be a real tight affair. I don't underestimate you guys. You just come off and win yourselves at home, so you'll be buoyant. I think we're expected to win. Being at home, being the championship side, I think we're expected to win. I don't care about the result personally. I just want to see some players get minutes in their legs that need it, and a good performance. So I'm going to say 2-1. Coventry. I think you guys will score because we always look a little bit leaky at the back. So I think anyone who does gamble responsibly. But if you do, Coventry are always a good bet for both teams to score, because we've got that sort of mentality that you can score against us, but we'll score more than you. So I think we could do, but if we turn up with the same intensity that we did yesterday, or against Northampton or Wolves, we could score 3 or 4. We do have that attacking talent that can create chances. It's just taking them. So, do you know what? I'm going to say 3-1. Sorry, I'm going to say 3-1. I think, and that will be the latter stages. I think the last 10-15 minutes will kind of possibly nick 1 or 2 to kind of take it away from us.
Yeah. Yeah, that is exactly what Swansea did to us a couple of years ago. So it wouldn't surprise me if it happened again. So yeah, it seems like 2 sides that are going to go for it and want to outscore teams in games, which seems to be the way that we kind of seem to be approaching this season. And the way we grew in confidence on Saturday was impressive. We were having far more shots from kind of outside the box or whatever. So hopefully that continues and it's an aggressive attacking performance, but hopefully not too aggressive in attacking that we leave ourselves open at the back and your championship quality signs through. I assume we've got a couple of Coventry fans here in the chat because we've got a 2-0 City and a 3-1 Coventry as well come through. So I'm sure they're all Coventry fans that are going to be there tomorrow cheering on the Sky Blues. To those of you Cobblers fans that are there, hope you have a good away day. It's not tomorrow, it's Wednesday. I keep saying tomorrow, it's not, it's Wednesday. So yeah, have a good time if you're there, Cobblers fans. I say I'm not going. I don't know if I'm going to go yet. We'll just have to.
You'll be there, Matt. You'll be there, Matt.
I probably will. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see for that one. The final thing for you, as you mentioned earlier, you're part of a podcast. If you want to tell us all about that and what it is and where we can find it.
No, thank you. So we're What's the Crack podcast. It's a group of us. We are all Coventry fans, but we're not a Coventry podcast, as it were. We do all sorts of sports. We talk football, boxing, rugby, cricket, anything. We've had a couple of TikTokers as well because, hey, we'll get who will come on. But what we try and do is we try and keep it like a chat in the pub. We started it during lockdown because that's what we missed. We missed that social aspect of going to the football. So we did a little bit of nostalgia talking about, your favourite kits growing up, your favourite players growing up, best 11 players that you've seen play for your club. We've branched out. We've had a couple of opposition fans on, and Matt, the invite's there. If you want to come and have a chat about Cobblers, you're more than welcome. But and that's what we've done. We've done it with some Barnsley fans, Birmingham, Sunderland. We've tried to really branch out, and we've got some interviews with some ex-pros. We've been lucky enough to kind of have some real nice guys give up their time to talk to us. Some Coventry legends, which may not mean too much to the Cobblers fans, but Richard Shaw, Paul Williams, Gary McSheffrey, Michael Doyle. The list goes on quite a bit. So yeah, we're on everywhere you can get your podcast. We're on Twitter at What's the Crack PC, Instagram as well. If you want to give us a follow, feel free. We're always doing little giveaways and stuff as well, which aren't just Coventry related, they're sports related. So yeah, if you want to check us out, feel free. We'll look forward to hearing of you.
Definitely, yeah, and I think it's good to have an opposition fan come on that's got kind of a sports podcast. I know that it's probably a bit more focused on Coventry because that's all your area of expertise. But it's weird when you kind of have like, I don't know, like a Port Vale fan that comes on Thursday night and he's listening to a Port Vale podcast, but you're probably going to listen to the episodes where they talk about the Cobblers, and then you're unlikely to listen again for the rest of the season. But when it's a general sports podcast, that's something that you can definitely get into. I'm sure it's through sky blue tinted glasses in a way, but it's still something that
of course. And like I say, we've been lucky that a lot of the ex-pros have had commentary connections, but that's something that we're trying to branch out and kind of get who we can. We only started in January, so we're not even a year into it yet, but it's fun. It's fun. Let's put it that way.
Perfect. So yeah, Ben Watkin here says all the best to Northampton for the rest of the season. Thanks very much, Ben. And I echo what Aaron says. Best of luck to Coventry as well. I think there's no kind of, although it's two teams that are close to each other, there's no kind of rivalry at all there. Maybe a bit of local stuff, but nothing really at all. Nothing compared to that other blue lot down the road, Peterborough. And I'm sure I guess who's it for you guys? It wouldn't be Birmingham, would it? Surely, is it? No,
to be fair, we get on well with Birmingham. Growing up for me, so I'm 32. Growing up for me, it was Villa. It was Villa. But it's now Leicester. We had a lot of time local with Leicester, and we had some good rivals there. There's a fake rivalry with Sunderland going back years. But I reckon, if I were to put it down now, Leicester are probably our biggest rivals at the minute.
Cool, good stuff. Well, thanks very much. Ian also says, all the best, lads. Have a good season. Great vlog/show. Thanks very much, Ian, for that. One of your podcast guys has been on as well. Good luck for the rest of the season. Thanks very much.
Cheers, David.
Guys, perfect. Yeah, cheers, David. So, thanks very much, Neil, for coming on. You've been fantastic. Thanks for giving us half an hour every time to talk about the Carabao Cup. I certainly won't be doing that this time next week to talk about the Papa John's Trophy, or whatever it's called now. So I think the Carabao Cup we can accept. So yeah, thanks very much for coming on, Neil. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you haven't enjoyed watching, please hit the like button for me. If you're a Coventry fan and want to watch some Cobblers content, subscribe to the channel and all that kind of good stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Until next time, we'll see you all later. Thanks very much for watching. We'll see you later. Bye-bye.